Welcome to our channel Tech LT World. Today we'll be discussing about a very important topic in LT, that is LT frame structure. So let us begin. So before understanding in depth about LT frame structure, let us try to understand how the LT frame structure looks like, or what are the components which are present inside an LT frame structure. So if you see this diagram, uh, if you see this diagram, so the first component which is present inside the LT frame structure is the frame. So basically, the frame is actually divided into various subframes. Okay, and then the subframe is divided into further slots, and the slots are divided into symbols. So these are the four important components which are basically present in an LT frame structure, which we need to know. So if you, in this pictorial diagram, you can see how actually our LT frame structure look like, right? So if you see in this diagram, basically the LT, you can see that any whenever our UE wants to communicate with the E node B, okay, so it will basically be sending it will basically be sending some uh, frames, right? Like it can send various frames, right? Frame 0, frame 1, okay. uh, and then we can see the frame 2. So whatever, whenever it wants to communicate, it will basically send certain frames to the inode B, okay. And if you can see the diagram, each frame is of 10 milliseconds, right? So basically this all this frame, basically a complete frame, a single frame, if you can see, is divided into is of duration of 10 millisecond, okay. So here if I make this diagram, okay, so this entire frame is of 10 millisecond, right? So and each 10 milli one subframe, one frame is actually divided into 10 subframe, and each subframe is actually of 1 millisecond, okay. So the duration of each subframe is of 10 milliseconds. There are actually 10 subframes in a frame, and each subframe is of 1 millisecond, okay. So and then you can see that further the subframe of 1 millisecond is further divided into two time slot, okay, and each time slot is of duration of zero point 0.5 millisecond, okay. So it means that in one subframe we have two time slot, right? um, and then further if you see, each time slot basically consists of symbols, okay. So what are these OFDM symbols? So whatever the data or anything, any channel information, or any messages which UE wants to send, right, or the network wants to send, okay, so it will be sending inside this OFDM symbols only, okay. So basically this time slots, two time slot consist of symbols, this OFDM symbols, and each time slot, if you can see this one time slot will be consisting seven OFDM symbols, okay, if it is a normal cyclic prefix are used, okay. And if we are using extended cyclic prefix, then the number of OFDM symbol in a single time slot will be 6 OFDM symbols, right? So if you see the detail inside this slot, you can see that there are basically 6 7 OFDM symbols, okay. And the first one is actually, you can see the cyclic prefix, and each symbols are basically separated from each other by an cyclic prefix, okay. So that there is no distortion, there is no channel interference, right? So this is very important to know. So overall if you see, so you can see that the LT frame structure, in the LT frame structure, a frame basically is of duration of 10 millisecond, where each frame is actually divided into 10 subframe, where each subframe has a duration of 1 millisecond, okay. It means 1 millisecond, and further this subframe are divided into two time slots, okay. Each time slot is of duration 0.5 millisecond, and inside the time slot we can have 6 OFDM symbols or 7 OFDM symbols depending upon the cyclic prefix, okay. And each OFDM symbols will be separated by a cyclic prefix. So also you can see that there are basically two types of frame structure, okay. Means one is the FDD frame structure, and other is the TDD frame structure. So FDD stands for frequency division multiplexing, and this is the time division multiplexing. So depending on the type of frame structure, the length and everything will differ. Okay, so we'll be showing in the next slide what is how is in FDD frame structure the frame structure looks like, or and how in TDD the LT frame structure looks like. So this is our FDD frame structure. Okay, so if we in the FDD frame structure, what happens is that basically there are two frequencies. Okay, one is the F1 and F2. Okay, so F1 F2 will be different, and for each and for downlink we'll be assigning one frequency, and for an uplink we'll be assigning a different frequency. Okay, and let's say if you see in the in the upper part, you can see that this particular frame has been assigned only for downlink. Okay, this particular frame has been assigned entirely to the downlink, and all the downlink packets will be going through this frame only. Okay, and if you see here in this frame, this complete frame is assigned to uplink. Okay, so all the uplink packets will be going through this, and the one of the very useful thing of FDD frame structure is that we can simultaneously send both the frames, like downlink and uplink can be simultaneously transmit from UE to E0 B and E0 B to network. So okay, so hence this is that one of the advantage of FDD frame structure, because the once only we can transmit downlink as well as uplink packets. So in the second frame structure, if you see, this is the TDD frame structure. Okay, so in TDD frame structure, we have only the single frequency, that is the F1. Okay, so this in this type of frame structure, basically we can see that there is only single frame. Okay, which of 10 millisecond, and this and inside this frame we have both uplink and downlink. Okay, so you can see the downlink frame as well, and is the uplink frame as well. Okay, so and it is not necessary this will be the consistent configuration. Okay, so the different, there can be different type of configuration depend upon the operator. Okay, operator can choose different type of configuration. So one of the difference which you can see from this structure as compared to FDD, first of all, is that there is only single frame structure, single frame for both uplink and downlink, and between downlink and uplink there is a special subframe also. Okay, and this special subframe, if you can see this special subframe. Okay, a minute. So if you can see this special subframe, so this special subframe is actually consists of three things. Okay, one is the DWPTS, that stands for downlink pilot time slot, and other is the UPPTS, that is the uplink pilot time slot, and between them it is the guard period. Okay, so this entire frame is actually of 1 millisecond, right? So if you see the functionality of each of the downlink pilot time slot, okay, and the UPPTS. Okay, so you can see that the downlink pilot time slot is nothing but it basically considered as is considered as a normal downlink subframe. Okay, and it basically carries reference signals and control information as well as data for those cases when sufficient duration is configured. Okay, it also carries the PSS. So this DWPTS also carries the primary synchronization signals, right? And the other is the guard period. Okay, so guard period is actually used to control the switching between the uplink and downlink transmission. Okay, so as we know that the main role of subframe, this special subframe, is that there is a smooth transition should happen between the when there is a transition from downlink to uplink. Okay, so the main purpose of using this special subframe is that only that whenever there is a need of transition from downlink to uplink, there should be a smooth transition, right? So this one of if you see this guard period plays a very important role. Okay, so guard period, basically what it does do, it basically used to control the switching between the uplink and downlink transmission. Okay, switching between the transmission direction has a small hardware delay, okay, for both UE and E0 B, and that needs to be compensated by this guard period. Okay, and the guard period has to be large enough to cover this propagation delay of downlink. Means between the UE and the E0 B, there is to be some hardware delay. So this guard period will basically compensate it, right? So and finally we have the UPPTS, that is the uplink pilot time slot. So this uplink pilot time slot primarily intended for the sounding reference signal. So these are the physical references signals. One of and this so basically what it does do, that it basically intended for the sounding reference signal which is transmission from UE. So basically this and also mainly it is used for the RACH transmission. So this UPPTS, if you see the uplink type slot, is basically used for the RACH transmission. Okay. And also it is used for the intended for the sounding reference signal, that is SRS signal. Okay. So hope you got the role of each of these parameters which is present inside a special subframe. So first one is the downlink pilot time slot, which are basically used for carrying the PSS. Its main role is to carry the PSS. GP is basically used, that is the guard period, is basically used for the so that there is a normal transition, a proper transmission should happen with, when there is a transition from downlink to uplink. And then we have the UPPTS, which is basically used for the RACH process and also for the sounding reference signal, right? And uh, so this is the complete TDD frame structure, you can see. Okay. And this is the TDD frame configurations as per 3GPP. As I told that that there can be various TDD frame configuration, right? So these are the various frame configuration which are been defined by 3GPP. Okay. So if you see the configuration 0, which has been released in 3GPP release 8. So here you can see that the downlink to uplink switch point periodicity is 5 seconds, means for the transition to 5 milliseconds. Sorry. So 5 milliseconds means if there is a transition happening from the downlink to uplink, so it will basically takes 5 milliseconds for in this case. Okay, 5 milliseconds to transit from downlink to uplink. Okay, and the subframe number will look like that. Okay, first downlink will come, then special subframe, then uplink, and then in fifth part it will be there will be downlink, and then whenever there is a transition from uplink, you can see that there is a special subframe, and then uplink and uplink. Okay, so you can see that there are two downlinks here. Okay, 6 uplinks are there and 2 special subframes are there. So similarly there are other configuration as well, which is actually defined by the 3GPP, right? So and each of them have basically different different periodicity. Like for example, if you can see the configuration 0, 1, 2, it has the 5 millisecond of periodicity, and other if you see it has 10 for 3, 4 and 5 has the 10 milliseconds of periodicity, and then the 6 again it has the 5 millisecond of periodicity. So this is our video on LT frame structure. Hope you all like it. We'll be coming with more videos in upcoming time. So keep supporting us. Thank you.